Hello and welcome to the Sweet Southern Sports Podcast where we talk about SEC sports. Today we'll be looking at the college football playoff predictions for the 2025-2026 season. For our final playoff seed predictions, we have the number one Ohio State Buckeyes winning the Big Ten, the number two Texas Longhorns winning the SEC championship, the number three Penn State Nittany Lions uh, being the Big Ten runner-ups, the number four Clemson Tigers winning the ACC championship, the number five Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the number six Georgia Bulldogs being runner-ups in the SEC, the number seven Oregon Ducks, again just being a really strong competitor in the Big Ten. Number eight, Alabama Crimson Tide being a strong contender in the SEC. The number nine, Baylor Bears winning the Big 12 championship. The number 10, Oklahoma Sooners just being very competitive in the SEC. The number 11, Michigan Wolverines being competitive in the Big Ten. And then the number 12, Boise State Broncos winning the Mountain West championship. So the bye weeks in the college football playoff, week one, we have Ohio State, we have Texas, and then we have Penn State, and then we have Clemson. So first, one of the first round games that will be played at a home place will be at Notre Dame Stadium, with Notre Dame facing off against Boise State, number 5 versus number 12. I think Notre Dame just has a really physical team, especially when it comes to defensively and that offensive line. I think they're going to push Boise State around a good bit. I think this game will be over by halftime, but this will be a good test for the Broncos for sure, as I think Notre Dame brings back one of the best defenses this year, so I'll have to pick Notre Dame in this one. Next one, we have the number 6 Georgia Bulldogs versus the number 11 Michigan Wolverines. This one being played at Sanford Stadium, especially also thinking that Kirby Smart will be coming off of a loss to Texas in the SEC Championship. I think it would be a really bad time to face Georgia. Historically, they're really good after coming off of a loss. But on top of that as well, they are extremely good at Sanford Stadium. I think with a young QB, Michigan will really struggle to come in here and get a win. I think maybe they keep it close until halftime, but especially in the second half, I think Georgia finds a way to win. Oregon versus Oklahoma. Oregon will have a really good team under Dan Lanning. He's done a great job making a strong program there. They do have a young QB with pretty young talent around the outside. Oklahoma will have an experienced QB with a really good offensive coordinator. But when it comes down to it, just being on the road, I think Oklahoma is not going to have what it takes to beat Oregon at home. So I'm going to have Oregon winning that one. Last one is number 8 Alabama versus number 9 the Baylor Bears. I think when it comes to it, Alabama is just stronger at every single position. Maybe QB is close. Baylor has a good QB there, but overall, I think it would be a game that the Crimson Tide should win pretty easily. They should win by double digits. So I have them winning this one. That brings us to our quarterfinals. In the quarterfinal match, I have our defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. When it comes to this game, Ohio State has a lot of really, really strong pieces. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, but then also some really, really, really good players like Caleb Downs on the back end. I just think Alabama overall is more skilled and balanced than Ohio State. I think in this game it will be obviously very close, but I think Alabama would find a way to win in the fourth quarter in this matchup. So I will have Alabama beating the defending national champions in this game. Texas versus Oregon. Oregon will have a really good team this year. I just don't think they'll be one of the most elite teams. Texas has a lot of star power on that defense, and then offensively they also have Arch Manning, and then also Wingo off the edge. I think they're just going to be too much for Oregon to handle for a full game. I think this is another game that comes down to the fourth quarter, but I think Texas finds a way to win. This will probably be one of the most intriguing matchups that we'll see in the quarterfinals. So you'll have the Penn State Nittany Lions with James Franklin trying to get that first national championship, also sharing that he can win the big one against Kirby Smart, who's been really the standard when it comes to coaching and getting his team to championship games. I think when it comes to this one will come down to the wire. Penn State has the overall, I believe, better roster, but Kirby Smart, there's a high potential that he can help lead his team to the win. But I actually do see Penn State finding a way to win in this game. I think the roster would just be too much. They have too much firepower on that offensive line and that running back crew. I think they'll find a way to run the football and control enough of the clock and enough of the game to be successful. The other quarterfinal will have the Clemson Tigers versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Again, Notre Dame was your runner-ups last year. They have extremely good defense. That's extremely physical. I think at the quarterback position, though, that's where they would struggle the most. Their quarterback position, they have a little bit less experience than Leonard Bonham last year, with Cade Klubnik on the other side and that defensive line for Clemson. I just think that they're going to have too much advantages at those two positions that Notre Dame probably won't be able to keep up with for the entire game. I do see Clemson winning a close one in the fourth quarter just based on Cade Klubnik's um, ability to run outside of the pocket, and also Dabo Swinney to lead his team in this game. So I think Freeman's a great coach, but I think they do fall to Clemson in the quarterfinals. So in the semis, I have the Clemson Tigers versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. An old flashback to that rivalry. I think Dabo Swinney, though, will have his team ready to go. Kate Klubnik will lead Clemson in. They have so much experience. Alabama will be a really balanced team. I think um, they could give Alabama a lot of fits still. But Alabama has Ryan Williams on the outside. They have really good pieces on their defense, but I just feel like Clemson matches up really well to them, especially with such a strong defensive line that Clemson, an extremely close, another classic battle, will find a way to beat Alabama. The other semifinal will have the Texas Longhorns. So you have Steve Sarkisian leading the Texas Longhorns out against James Franklin's Penn State Nittany Lions. I think this will be possibly the game of the year if this takes place. Two coaches who are just fighting for that first national championship as a head coach. Both have extremely good experience. One brings an extremely physical offensive line. Texas, on the other hand, may not have as physical of a game, maybe a little bit more of the pass focus. But at the end of the day, Sarkisian always likes to do his best to run the ball and get as much run game as possible. But in this game specifically, I think that this is one of those games that Arch Manning shows something special, and then also that Texas defense makes some really big plays. So James Franklin falls short of the dream season of having a national championship for Penn State, but the Texas Longhorns continue to roll on. So in the national championship, I will have the Clemson Tigers versus the Texas Longhorns, a rematch from last year where Texas actually dominated Clemson pretty good. When it comes to this game, I think Dabo Swinney has Cade Klubnik ready to go. I think it will be extremely competitive, that defensive line coming in. I think Texas will be ready to go with their defensive stars as well, along with Arch Manning and then Steve Sarkisian coaching against Dabo. At the end of the day, I do see Texas being your national champions. I just think Arch Manning will improve throughout the year. They may not be the same team that you see in week one, but I think this team has the potential and the star power to go all the way and win it this year. So again, we have the Texas Longhorns being your national champions this season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and look for more video content as we'll do recaps and previews and reviews throughout the season. Thank you so much.